Woohoo! It's season 2025 for Rider. We're here with a new cast, actually. This time, not just advocates, but also Sasha and Alexander. So welcome everyone for this first release party of the year. I would just do the usual intro. Where are my slides? Here. If you have any questions, then do let us know in the chat. And of course, this is going to be recorded, so don't worry. And I have a red dot. Wow, this is exciting. Don't worry, you can just follow up later. But I recommend you staying around. We have some swag to give away. We're not exactly sure about the exact terms, who gets it, but if you excite us in return, you're gonna be picked, and we just change our contacts or give you an email where you can send us something, and then you get a swag pack. Also, if you want to follow our agenda, because we put together some things, then you can do this at jbgg/live. What else? And I think with that, we can already start, right? So I think Matt's going to be... I didn't hear something like, way from you, from my folks here.
Well, you didn't give us a chance, but hi everyone, nice to see you all. Oh, look at that.
I will do this
Who doesn't
a couple more times.
Who doesn't like a bit of confetti, eh? This is nice.
This is Raycast, best feature of Raycast, among some others, of course. Okay, I think Matt wants to show something on my screen, if I'm not mistaken. So first part is about Rider Goes AI.
Yeah, we're going to go straight into the key updates. So yeah, hi everyone. Say hello in the chat and everything, and let us know where you're calling from, where you're watching from, what you're up to, and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to dive straight into what's new and what's cool. 2025.1 just released, and the big thing with this one, really, I'm sure you've seen it, is huge updates with the AI assistant. So we hope you all give it a go. There's been a huge amount of updates going on there, a big relaunch and a big set of updates there. We've been working very hard on that and changing the way the chat works. You've got access to a load of models there. You've got access to where you go.
Sorry, my bad.
Stop changing things. Got access to a load of different models. You've got access to local models if you want them. There's chat, there's edit mode, there's chat mode, which is great. Edit mode allows you to do multi-file changes as well, view diffs and see all these kinds of things. You can ask for help. We've got code completion, local code completion, cloud code, that's hard to say, cloud code completion, and lots of other features really nicely integrated across the IDE. Tons of things inside the IDE. Right click on a commit and get a description of what's changed in there. Explain code, suggest refactorings, a whole load of things. We'll have a look at some of these kind of things in more details. But one of the key things I want to show and tell today right now is the fact that AI is included with your subscription. So if you've got an all products pack or the .ultimate license, then you get the AI Pro tier by default as part of your subscription there. So we've got 3 different tiers. We've got AI free, so you can have it for free outside of your subscription. If you've got the all products pack or .ultimate, you get AI Pro. And then on top of that, then we've got AI Ultimate. And the difference between these is the amount of quota you get for working with the cloud features. So you can do cloud unlimited cloud completions for all tiers. So even if you're on AI free, you can do code completion unlimited for free. And then if you want to use some of the chat features, some of the other features related to the edit mode, then those are part of the quota. And of course, AI free has the small size, AI Pro is medium, and AI Ultimate is large. So these are all good. It's all included in your subscriptions. So go and have a go and give it a go first. Give it a go right now. Well, no, not right now. At the end of the stream. Wait, yes, this is good. Key things to also point out is it's off by default. It's opt-in. It's not going to do anything. We've got 0 data retention. The policies are all available on the website, so you can check those all out. But you can click to enable it. There's ways of disabling it. There's ways of setting up files so they don't go to the system, and so on. And the last thing to cover with AI is you might have come across JetBrains Junie, which is our agent-based AI tooling, which is something which you can ask it to actually go away and do things, and it'll be a bit more autonomous and work on tasks and work with that there. Just to clear a few things up, this is not currently included in Rider. It's supported by IDEA, WebStorm, I've completely forgotten, WebStorm and PyCharm and Goland, and we've got other IDEs coming soon as well. Rider is part of the sort of extra wave there, so we need to do some more work to make it work with Rider and C#, but we are working on it and it will come soon enough. However, give the edit mode of AI Assistant a go, because that can do a lot of things with the multi-file editing. This is, I don't know whether I should have had a drink beforehand or not had a drink beforehand. You decide. Multi-file editing. Give edit mode a go. It's really cool, and we'll see a bit of it in action in a little bit later. And I think I better stop talking now. I'm going to pass back.
I'm not sure if anyone from the other advocates, because it was in one just advocates channel. What's his name? Patrick did a really cool demo of Junie with I don't remember which IDE it was, but basically creating some guidelines, and it pointed out, oh yeah, this feature or this phase is going to take 1 week, 2 weeks, etc. And at the end of the stream, which was like 1 hour, we were finishing with week 3 or 4 already. So this was really impressive. And
yeah, Junie's looking really cool, and we're very excited to be bringing that to Rider, but not just yet. There's still plenty of cool things to look at right now.
Okay, next topic I think is for Sasha. Sasha, ready?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I still need to find where to share the screen. You're on the wrong. You still need to switch. You wanted to show, or I forgot because it says
yes, I did. How do I do that? Just that stop screen. So I'm obviously sharing something.
Yeah, I think it's just the window then.
All right then, let's start over.
I can also do the next first. Maybe that helps. Then you can take some time. Oh no, but it seems you're ready now.
Does that make a difference?
I still only see the web view, the browser.
Oh, all right. Well, let's not hold the party up.
Then let me take the next one. I will do Roslyn syntax tree. That's pretty cool because people who are interested in that know there has been a plugin which has not been updated for a very long time. So now we do have this included, and it's called syntax tree visualizer. It's here on the right. And yeah, what you can do is basically for a file that you have opened to see the whole syntax tree provided or in the sense of Roslyn, basically, because we also have our own, so it's not the ReSharper syntax tree, but from Roslyn. And you can just dive deeper here and inspect where things are, etc. If you select the token, you can also just say, okay, navigate there, or select node under caret. That works. And also, because I was actually looking for this immediately, it was hidden here. Always select node under caret. So that also works nicely if you want to search for something. And last but not least, it's also really cool to filter down on that was apply discount. It's really nice to filter down in the properties. So for each of those not tokens but nodes, you can see the properties that Roslyn provides for those. So that's it about the syntax tree visualizer. I know at least 2 people who are really looking forward to this. So I know they talk about syntax trees and source generators and all that a lot. So Stefan Pölz and Shahab Ganji, if you want to learn more, deep dive into this, then check them out. Okay, Sasha, I still only see a browser.
I am now
You as
sharing
well?
my entire screen. Everything. I cannot share anything more that I have.
But Matt, you're also seeing this, that it's only the browser, right?
Yes, I think it might be a problem with the sharing going on there. Can we show this with just the pictures in the What's New guide?
Okay, Sasha, I think we can also show them with my IDE, maybe.
Sure.
Does that also work?
No,
And
that's not where you go for the new feature. You go into the...
No? Okay, tell me.
Well, if you're updated to Rider 2025.1, you should be able to go into the Solution Explorer settings, the 3 dots up top.
It's
No.
yeah, sorry, here. Okay.
Right here, and new file view. Yes,
Restart required.
Terribly
Okay,
sorry about that, but it's worth it. That I can tell you.
Yeah. Let's restart. Okay, where is it? Okay, this was not exactly planned, so give me a moment.
But is it just me having the issue of screen sharing for some reason?
Could be anything. Okay, so where's my writer? Here, and this one, and so now it should be there.
Should be. It's a small change, but one that will hopefully make a big difference to your daily workflow. Yes, there it is. Now go back to the regular solution view. And here you will normally find all of your .NET solution. If you're working on full stack or multi-project repositories, you will normally see your C# written backend. But if you want to see your full repository, you can now switch to the files view, and that's where the magic happens, because now you not only see the backend, but also the front end, for example, React written front end, your database files, your configuration files, your Docker directory, everything like
Workflows,
CI/CD scripts, version control folders, everything. This is perfect for modern .NET development, where your project isn't just C#, it's full stack, it's infrastructure, it's everything, and everything is now at a glance. And we've also, you may notice how we tweaked even the cosmetics of how this all looks by highlighting certain folders and dimming out others. The icons have changed. They're now so easy to tell at a glance what you're working with. It's brilliant, an eye candy, if you ask me.
I think this is also nice with the active solution. I'm not sure if there was also a possibility to switch if you have multiple solutions. But yeah, it probably looks quite similar to what people have seen with the file system view. But I think one detail there is that it always takes it up from the root of the repository. So no matter if your solution file is there or in some folder below, we'll always use that. Okay. Then the next one is remote development. Matt again. Should I switch to your screen, or is it just Matt? Talk to me, please.
You know that whole thing where you forget to press unmute? You know, it's that. Yeah, show my screen, please. That'd be good.
Your screen.
Yeah, I like the
okay.
repository view. The repository view is really cool because it does. There's so many times I've got a repo where the solution file is down a couple of levels, but I want to use the README from the top level or the Docker files or the front end files. Now I can actually get to them. You know, Rider's got great support for Docker and all that kind of stuff, and now I can actually get to them, which is good. But I want to talk about remote development. Remote development is pretty nifty. So the idea of this, it's been around for a little while here. It's been the idea is to have your code and your tooling and everything running on a remote server. So you've got all your code over there, you've got your compilers, your tool chains, everything all on a remote machine, and you can run your IDE on that remote machine, but have a local-like experience. So we can run the front end of the IDE locally on your local machine, but the actual code is running on a host machine. Now, for a while now, that's only been running on Linux servers. With 2025.1, we can actually have Windows hosts as well, which is really nifty. And on top of that, we've actually got support for it in Toolbox. So previously, you might have used remote development with Gateway, which is an application which we've had, which is just like the starter part of the IntelliJ platform of Rider. It's like the welcome screen you get there, and you can connect to different items here. But we've built it into Toolbox instead, which is really useful. Toolbox is an application which is good for managing different versions of IDEs. So I could actually install multiple versions side by side. I can have them automatically updated and so on. I can also get a list of projects, so I can very quickly just navigate to my projects, get access to some of our remote services. And we've also got this little drop down here now, so we can actually choose between them. I can run local projects, or I can connect via SSH, nice and simply, or I can use a third-party provider or a sort of managed provider, basically, such as Code Canvas, which is our orchestration system, or I can install other ones as well, such as Coda and Gitpod, and there'll be more coming, like what we've got in Gateway already. They'll be there. I can click that. It'll make sure that the remote environment is up and running and will be good to go. Related to remote development is Code with Me. So I'm sure you've kind of come across Code with Me before. This is our collaborative tooling platform where you can invite others to join in a session and work with you and type, and you can now do this natively in Rider. We had it in 2024.3, but you had to enable it first. We weren't quite finished sort of implementing everything and polishing everything. 2025.1, it's available by default. The dev team have done a huge amount of work to rewrite the entire typing engine that goes on there, and it's now much more compatible with Code with Me. And so you can actually now have it built into the IDE there. Just start a session, send somebody a link, and they can join in and start working with you. So remote development, it's all in the Toolbox app. Toolbox is great. Use it, download it, and it's brilliant. Windows hosts and Code with Me is sort of on by default now. You can then easily invite people in to work with you in a pair programming or mentoring kind of fashion. And that's me.
I really want to know who's not using Toolbox already from the chat. That would be interesting. So
yeah, because you're missing out. Toolbox is a brilliant way to keep up to date, and also you can have multiple items side by side. So in our endless EAP, early access preview builds, you can be running the latest and greatest, or you can keep with the last release version as well to sort of make sure that you've always got something to fall back to.
I think the best besides having two versions installed at once is also that you can easily revert as well. So if something really breaks, which sometimes also happens, then
it's an early access preview. These things happen.
And not even just for early access preview. I think we also had releases.
It's all fine. It's all fine. It's only the early access previews.
Okay. Next one is I think it's me, but let me switch. Hold on. So this is the screen and this is the screen. Okay, I want to talk. Well, no, Rachel actually wanted to introduce my part, I think, if I remember correctly.
Well, I'm on the list next, so.
Yeah.
I don't need the screen now. It's just to announce that we do have preview support for .NET 10 and C# 14. So we have some initial support there, including C# 14's name of method. Allows you to go ahead and use it without explicitly listing type arguments. Say you're going to name of list T. Well, you don't have to put the type in there. So Rider will detect that and give you a little quick fix to simplify that. Also, C# 14 introduces new implicit conversions regarding the read-only span, and type arrays. making any kind of span-based stuff you're doing, especially great in web development, very intuitive. So we now support those implicit conversions. And we can now use parameter modifiers, your refs, outs, ins, even scoped lambda expressions without explicit parameter types, which is another C# 14 feature that we have. So we have little quick fixes for all of those. And then on to you, Matthias.
Yeah, a couple more, and just one clarification, because it's nitpicking a bit, and we had this in some material wrong already. So this is support for .NET 10 so far, which has been released, because we also had questions about, extension keyword, for instance, but this is all not shipped yet. A lot of things are still happening there. It's the support for preview features, so to say. But let's get on with this. Just hold on 1 second. The first one I want to show you more detail is duplicated statements, and we've been shipping a couple of those, similar to those at least, in the past few versions. And we're just extending that. So in this first case, I basically have the same code inside an if branch and right afterwards again. And so you can remove those in the whole solution, or just try to find them, find all those occurrences in your solution. But that's an easy fix, and then, cleans up the code here a little. Then also a more specialized form of this inspection for switch expressions. So in this case, it's particularly about duplicating the default arm of a switch expression. So same thing here, fixing in the whole solution, or you can just search inside your solution. And the next one, where is it? I was scrolling a little bit too far. The next one is this here, where also two if branches do basically the same. So you can kind of merge them into one, merge two duplicated if bodies, and you're done. Okay, let's head over to the next one, which is inject postfix template. I'm a big fan of that, of those, I should say. Yeah. So if you haven't seen postfix templates yet, so inside here, what I want to do is basically use the IDE servers to process or hand over my request and then return the result. Yeah. So let's see how we can do this. And the first one is actually the one that has been added. So I start by just typing the type name and then .inject. This is the new part. And this works really nicely with primary constructors. And from here on, I can just continue, typing what I want. And just to give you two more other examples, so await is also here at the very end, is also a postfix template. And then eventually I can do a return. And that was the wrong one. I know, it just, it formatted a little bit differently. Yeah. I shouldn't have done some formatting setting changes yesterday. Okay. Next one is on Roslyn inspections. Also a good one. For that, I will take duplicated dictionary initialization. This was quite funny because I saw that our team has also implemented this inspection that if a dictionary has the same value twice for the key, and you probably get an exception from that. But Roslyn actually also has a quick fix for that. And now Roslyn quick fixes can also be applied in bulk or in scope for the file project solution. Yeah. So now we just remove two of them. Okay, on to the next one, transform parameters, also an interesting one. Where is it? Transform. I don't know the alphabet, I'm sorry. So from here, change signature. Are you still there? No one was laughing. Okay.
We're muted so we don't talk over you. I mean, I can talk over you if you want.
Please. So here, transform parameters, we can choose how we want to transform parameters. For instance, to turn them into a new class, record, etc. So you have to play with that a little, but yeah, it's a really nice update to work with new tuple types, record classes, etc. and a few things more. Cancellation token is the next one I want to show you. Also a really cool update, because you will see in a second cancellation token usage right here. So in this case, there's one general token up here, but a more special one down here. But in this async call, we're passing the more general token, which is probably not what you want. So with a quick fix, we allow you to use either the second, which looks more appropriate, or even to link those two together to one combining one or one linked one. Yeah, whatever you prefer. And the next one, I think, Matt, I handed over to you already, and I tell you what you can do, and I show people multi-line comments updates. So let me head over to your screen.
Wait, what? I'm showing multi-line comments.
I tell you what to do.
Oh, here we go. Okay, this is going to be
just
I've got
once.
no idea what you're doing.
Just once. Afterwards,
yeah. All right. Then I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you where to go.
Okay. Type or write a to-do comment. Yeah, something afterwards. Yeah. Now we had multi-line to-do comments. If you go on to the next line, just to make something multi-line. Then previously you had to do some indentation. So now maybe, yeah, or you can write it like this. So now you can see this is already multi-line. But you can also use the indentation variant of that. So then you would have, you know, exactly like this, or just tap. And then if you write a comment on the next line, just starting from the very first position, yeah, you see this is not counted as the multi-line. So if there is indentation, then indentation must be, you know, continued. If there's none, then all comments below will be part of the multi-line comment. Now, Matt, thanks for doing what I wanted. Now I can continue with Unity, I think.
That was easier than I was expecting. I was a little bit worried about where we were going with that one. Yeah, no, that's all pretty nifty. I do love seeing the new features that the team add to all the alt enters and inspections and things. There's always something you can do with alt enter, which is really cool. I want to show something in ReSharper. So I'm just firing up my virtual machine here. Obviously, the things we're showing here in Rider, all the sort of C# support and everything, that of course works in ReSharper as well. So if you want to work inside Visual Studio, you can still do so, and ReSharper will provide you all of the same functionality there, because of course Rider is powered by ReSharper. One nice thing we've added in ReSharper for this release is that the Unity plugin is bundled. So the Unity game dev plugin, which we've had bundled in Rider for several years, we've now also bundled it in Visual Studio as well. So you can see here we've got some methods here. So this level select menu is being used by a Unity event. We can see that. We've got sort of awake methods there. And if I click on that, I could go and view the documentation. I could start typing here for, let's do collision. And I get my on collision, enter, exit, and so on. Alt enter to generate methods, and I could just generate a bunch of them all at once. Other things like inspections on the way we're using the API, tag against a string literal, we don't want to do that. So we can do alt enter, convert to compare tag, and fix everything in the file. So there's a whole load of things there. Color highlighting as well, with lots of different color pickers you can use there. And you can use alt enter to actually pick a different one if you want to, and then sort of save that as a new color. And the last thing I'll just quickly show you, well, I want to show one last thing as well either. Code completion for magic strings, which is really nifty. And then we've also got support for shaders in there as well. So we can do code completion for shaders, navigation, and so on. And also we've got the support for switching between the different keywords that you use inside a Unity shader there. So here you can see that only one of them is enabled here. So if I change something here, it's not registered ReSharper doesn't highlight that. But if I do Alt-Enter there, I can enable the keyword, and now it's actually going to get highlighted there as something that we can't resolve. So that's a pretty big update really for Visual Studio and ReSharper. If you want to use Unity in there, you can do. It's all bundled and available to you. The next thing to quickly talk about is Kadana. That's available now as a plugin. If you are using, when you install ReSharper, you're going to get an option in the wizard itself to be able to install the Kadana plugin here. And what Kadana is a server-side product that runs as part of your continuous integration pipeline, and it will run ReSharper's analysis on your code base and give you a report at the end of each run. What you can do with the plugin, though, is ReSharper will then download the latest release, the latest report that was made as part of the build, and you'll be able to work your way through it and fix things. So you can use this as a quality gate to ensure that your code's okay, and if it fails, you can download it and you can fix things up. Of course, Kadana's got lots of great features for setting a baseline, for navigating, for deciding what you want to have enabled and not enabled, and so on. So there's a lot of cool things you can do there. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is...
Matt, hold on.
Hello.
Do you want to take a guess how many attempts it took to get this clean image of Kadana installation?
That was the first time, obviously.
No, Sasha is laughing because I took like, I don't know, 5 attempts or so to because you cannot shrink it exactly like it's on the picture. So I had to cut and copy. I'm not as good as Khalid.
The people at home don't realize how difficult our lives is making screenshots. Get the size of those screenshots, some of these features, these things don't always fit in there. You kind of got to frame things. It's seriously, it's hard work being a developer advocate, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, sometimes it's also, but only in rare cases, for the record, yeah. But sometimes it's also faking a little bit, mainly to adjust the UI so that everything fits onto one tiny image, or to take away some time in between.
Oh, stop it! You give away all of our secrets.
Exactly, we don't fake anything.
The secrets are somewhere else.
The demos are always live.
The demos are always live. That's true.
Yeah. It's terrifying. Okay, last thing on ReSharper then is an update on out of process. Now, some of you might have been following this. We're trying to move the ReSharper engine outside of the Visual Studio process for lots of different reasons. Memory throughput to reduce pauses due to garbage collection, and so on and so forth. We've got a blog post here, so go to your What's New page here. This blog post details a whole lot of really useful information about where we're at with progress there. There's been some fantastic progress. It's been an incredibly hard thing to re-architect the product from the ground up, basically while we're still doing 100 miles an hour down a motorway. And there's a whole lot of stuff now which is running successfully out of process. And there's some great results we can see there on how little now that ReSharper can affect the UI thread on startup, which is great. So more progress coming on that. Hopefully we'll have something to share soon enough, but the progress is starting to look really good. So I'm going to hand over now to, well, actually me, isn't it? Because I'm going to talk
to yourself, I believe.
Yeah. So that was a smooth handover. This is going well. I want to do a very quick summary of what's coming in F# support as well. So if you're using F#, there's a few really helpful updates here, only a couple which are sort of really visible. The first one is extending how type hints work with sort of match patterns, for example, that they're being visible in a whole lot more places there. So it does help you explain what's going on, get to see what your types are from the inferred types that the compiler figures out there. Other useful tip with the type hints as well, if you hit the control key, if you kind of tap it twice and hold, then more hints are visible there. So we don't show everything because it can be a bit overwhelming, a bit noisy. And you can also change how they're configured, but you could use the control key, double tap that and hold that to then show more of the type hints you got there. And then other useful updates is some internal refactorings about how code completion works and how we do C# in memory references. Code completion is faster, so we're going to pop up that the little pop-up quicker there, uses less memory, which is always a good thing there, and provides a bit more accurate suggestions. And we've done a similar set of optimizations for in-memory references. And the in-memory references is when we are in an F# project and we need to understand what's going on inside a C# project. So F# code referencing C# code and vice versa there. So there's been a number of optimizations in there, including improved cancellation, which is good, which should lead to fewer sort of pauses and stutters as you're working with your F# code. And now I'm actually going to hand over to someone different. And I think it's Sasha. Is that right?
Yes. And I'm going to talk about the user experience. This time around, we only have a couple of...
Switch to browser. Yeah, okay, now I can share. Hold on. Oh, now my scenes, where are they? Here.
Woo! I love that.
No.
Parallax. No?
Wrong browser again.
Just when I thought I got it right. Do you see it?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So the user experience. This time around, we only have a couple of updates. Of course, there are minor tweaks here and there, always sprinkled throughout our releases. But the two major ones for this one are the ability to merge main menu and main toolbar on Windows and Linux machines. You can see how neatly these two flow into each other. And the second change is the option to set automatic plugin updates, which we all know how annoying it might be to receive all those notifications about the available updates for the plugins you have installed in Rider. Now you can go into your settings and make sure those are updated in the background, and all of the updates are installed on your next IDE restart, not interrupting your flow. That would be it.
Okay.
Now, who's next?
I
Terminals,
think
actually you.
Yes. I think it's me, but I was so distracted from headphones look like ear cleaners. Okay, I think this is worth Bartosz, if I say it correctly, for making at least me laugh, and I think Alex too. If you want a swag pack, then get into contact. I will write my address in a moment. But
I think it's probably worth. Can we just set some ground rules here? We're not just going to give swag packs for insulting people, right?
No,
I didn't take it like that. But very spacey.
But if you do ask a good question or make us laugh, both options are equally good for us. Then
I mean, that was a good one.
We're ready to reward that. Yep.
But actually, I would like to see the actual ear cleaners that look like the headphones, because I haven't seen those.
I thought you were going to want to see Alex's ears, and it's like, this isn't the stream I signed up for.
Okay, I need to focus, people. So the next one is, and I forgot to click the button here a couple of times to update the live tool.
They just look like a Dyson suction cups that are
actually true, yeah. The really ridiculous expensive ones, right? I think I remember they're quite expensive. Okay, so terminal news. That was also funny. There was an internal discussion with someone from outside, but yeah, saying, "Oh, there's a new terminal." But like, yeah, that was a year ago already. But yeah, no, there's a new terminal. So left is the old new. This is the pretty new, and I will give you the gist of it. So basically, it seems like we tried to do a little too much without making it, fully integrate with all the really useful features. I don't know how this comes across, but doing a terminal is not exactly easy. So we've been relying on, I think it's called something like JetBrains, yeah, We wanted to do something new, which allows integrating more features, but that has backfired a little, unfortunately. So now there's a new terminal where those newer features are brought to, or at least we plan to deliver them there. One of the first ones is that you have blocks between your commands, so a little, horizontal line. Everything else will take some time, yeah, but it's in the settings. I think here, if you search for terminal, then I think for me also it had experimental selected first. So if you want to try it, then reworked 2025. Okay, that's now it's Rachel, I believe.
Yep, I'm here to talk about AI. And my screen is shared, so you could flip over to that. In the meantime, we do have some improvements with AI completion, specifically in the web component framework area. So that's some good news there, some improvements. It makes it go faster, nicer. The changes affect local full line completion and the cloud completion. That is hard to say. Also, AI generated unit tests follow your existing naming conventions in the project now, which is really, really good, because it's kind of annoying when your conventions are not followed. Like, we have teammates for that, right? We don't need AI doing that to us as well. Other things in AI news, we have some support now for a lot of models here. So you can see there's Claude 3.5 Sonnet, 3.7, there's Claude 3.5 Haiku, also OpenAI's O1, O1 Mini, O3 Mini, and a whole bunch of others in here. So we have really great support for all the models. And as well, we also can connect to specific models that you want here, like maybe Ollama. If I click connect, takes me into settings. And in here, I could say I want to enable a local LLM. So like Ollama local. Come in here, check this off, test my connection, see if it works. Also under local models, I can then check off offline mode if I wanted to. And that would prevent most of the remote calls and prioritizes that local model. And I can even customize the features and helpers that I want if I want to use a local model. So nice, fine-grained support for exactly how you want to work with your AI model. So that's really great. I like this as features. One of the other things we have now, and this is in beta, so take that with a bit of a grain of salt. We have the edit versus chat mode. So in chat mode, as it says here, you can discuss anything. In edit is where I probably want to come in here and actually have it do some stuff for me. And I can have it modify multiple wait a minute, do I see a message that you can only see part of what I'm showing, or are we good?
No, it looks all good. I see a desktop
okay.
now.
I thought I saw a message, and okay. So I thought I was talking for a while with a blank screen.
I would have told you.
Okay. So anyway, so here in the edit mode, I have multiple files that I might want to make changes to. So say in this project, I realize, oh no, I created a customer class and it's in 2 different files and I want to consolidate those. So I'll ask it like, hey, I have a customer class. Actually, 2 of them. I'll say 2 customer classes. And you actually don't even have to spell it right. It should pick it up, but nonetheless. And I want to consolidate them.
Hey, Rachel, can you zoom in a little bit on that? Can you zoom in a little bit there?
Yep. Hold on a second. Can you help me? So do I have zoom it? There we go. So I come in here and I say something like, I have 2 customer classes. I want to consolidate them. Can you help me? And over here, you can see the edit mode on the bottom where I have that little selector. Okay. And fire away. And it's going to take it a minute. It has to take a look around, get the context, see where the code is, all kind of other stuff. So yeah, here it'll help me. It's nice. So far, it hasn't told me to go pound sand. It always says, I'm going to help you. So here it's, gives a little bit of a, let me understand what's going on. Indeed, I do have 2 customer classes in here. One's in the models namespace and folder, and the other is under validation. So what would we do here? It gives me a little excerpt of the analysis. It says, well, maybe what you should do is take the email property from the validate one and move it to the customer class, right? And move it from the customer class in validation to the customer class in models. That sounds pretty reasonable. Then remove the duplicate customer class from validation. Yep. That sounds good too. And then update. There happens to be a save customer details so that it uses the validate method. So that's wonderful. And here it shows the diff. All right. So I could take a look through here and see what it wants to do. And then, of course, at any time, I could come in here and open up the files and see if, also look at the originals as well. So here's my customer, and the one with validation also has this little customer down here. So I can go through here and, look at them in a myriad of different ways. So this looks great. I can also kind of navigate here through the little AI chat. So this is really good. Also notice it shows validation and customer CS. Here's another way of navigating as well. I'm used to going to Solution Explorer up there first, but you can also just click on these. That's fine. And I like this. So I'm going to click accept all, and then boom, we're good. And of course it's an error because there's because it's beta, but I might need a little bit of cleanup. By the time that this is out of beta, you probably won't even see this, but this is really smooth, just the way it is, even if I have to come in here and do a little bit of cleanup and move a reference around or anything like that. Because this is exactly what I would want to do if I had maybe some duplicate code and I wanted to move it around, consolidate it, or just whip through multiple files and do multiple things all at once. And then at any time, I can always undo this and, throughout with local history, regular undos, and of course, version control, all of that stuff already in Rider. So cool. I think that's all we have for the AI stuff for now. So we can go back over to Matthias.
Can I just jump in? I mean, firstly, I want to say that's pretty cool. I really like the edit mode. The edit mode stuff's pretty nifty. I was saying at the start that everything's free, and so it's included in your subscription and everything. I forgot to say how to show your current usage of your quota and everything. Can you show everyone the AI hub for us, please?
Yeah, sure. In our AI hub, we have the little AI swirly icon. So I could just come up here in the toolbar and click on that. And because I have enterprise and because I work here, I have unlimited AI. But if you have a quota, you will see that in here, along with some extra settings that you might want to go in here and set, or go into the regular settings and bring up what comes up under the file menu, as well as other features and whatnot. So it's all right there in the toolbar.
Thanks. Yeah, it's really cool. Edit modes is also really, really useful. I find myself swapping between the two, chat and edit, for different things. If I just need an answer, it's chat. If I want something with my code base, then I go into edit mode. Much more
it's really great, especially still for being in beta. It's doing really great.
Oh yeah. Let us know if you're using it. By the way, everyone in the chat, let us know if you're already giving it a go.
Chat mode. Chat.
Not chat mode.
I barely hear the difference. Anyway, link chain debugging. So a few things about debugging. This is the first. So now you can set a breakpoint on any link chain, statements. And then you get a button next to it, explore link. So what this opens is basically a link visualizer. Now, first you might say, okay, yeah, looks interesting, but it's only two, sides at once. And what I'm doing here, let's go back, is basically just taking numbers from 1 to 1,000, then checking what is prime, and then only taking the first 50 and making that O appear that number of times what the number is. So let's do this again. And so the last one, you can see it really starts adding up here from our prime numbers. And there's also a flat mode. It takes a bit getting used to, those those little strokes here, which should be combining individual elements. It takes a bit to get used to. But yeah, check it out. It's the very first version. I actually also already found a bug. Unfortunately, maybe you can find it too. So go check it out. And I think Rachel also wanted to talk about two things for debugging. I would just switch over there. No, actually, I can show this in the IDE, right? Rachel, where should I go?
Sure. Do you have a breakpoint somewhere?
Yeah, first one is breakpoint, exactly.
Yep, go into the breakpoint and right-click on the breakpoint in the editor and do the little more, the Control-Alt-B.
But you mean this here probably, right? I mean.
Yep. Yeah. The more. Oh, right. Your Mac. Yeah. Okay. And go to, let's see, any exception. Yeah, you're right there, right near your cursor. You see those options. So now we have some options to set the exception handlers for user code, external code, etc. So we have some new options there. That's one.
And the second?
The second, let's see, we have enhanced breakpoint. Oh, the child process. So if you go into any edit configuration in here, if you scroll down a little bit, you should see a attached to child process. Yeah, there we go. So once you do that, if your code spins off any children or grandchildren, it's going to attach to those and let you go through and debug them if you need to debug them. That's our other debugging option that we have.
I really wish for those here there was a direct button from the tool window.
From the breakpoints tool window, that would be nice too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to say only user code or only basically a three-way switch for this one. Yeah, let's see if we can convince them, or people go out and create an issue and we all upvote that. Okay. So that was debugging. I think now it goes back now the really fun part about game development. Right, Matt? I think.
Yeah, that means I need to unmute again. I keep on forgetting that. That's good. Right, so what am I talking? Oh, yeah. So again, actually, just before we go on, there was a question in chat there asking about the pencils feature, which we have removed as part of this update as well. The pencil feature was a way of being able to sort of control how much highlighting was going on in your project, so you could turn things down and disable things. While it's not the same, there's a sort of similar thing which you can do from the widget in the top right-hand corner. So, if you could show my screen, please, that would be useful.
I completely forgot. I'm sorry. Here. There
we go. So yes, the widget we've got up in the top right-hand corner of the editor there, which tells you how many warnings and suggestions you've got and so on. You've got the ability to be able to change what's reported there as well. So one of the key things that the pencils allowed you to do was to kind of turn off various warnings and things there. You can do a very similar thing from here. It's not quite the same, but it's a similar thing. But we don't currently have plans to bring back pencils itself. Right, where are we? Game dev. Right, first things first. Noesis. So Noesis GUI is a very useful library that is used in lots of different applications, Unity, Unreal, and custom and everything like that as well. We've added support for Noesis GUI XAML files in here as well, including with the preview as well. So we get code completion and all sorts of fun stuff going on here too. And we also get to show a preview here. It's not an interactive preview, it's just a view of what's going on there, but we can still see what is going on as part of that. And if I just sort of zoom down here, try not to get over there, you can see in the status bar just at the bottom here, oh, done that wrong there, information about the language server that we're using. So we're actually talking to Noesis itself, which is running inside Unity, and that is the thing which is actually controlling what's going on there. So we use Noesis itself to kind of give us more information and provide support for things there, code completion, syntax highlighting, and so on. And I think we've got some warnings there too as well. Moving quickly on to the next thing is experimental support for the Unity profile and bringing data for the Unity profile into Unity profiler into the editor itself. So if I press the wrong button, first things I need to do is in the settings under Unity Engine, go down to the bottom here, and where it says fetch profiler snapshot, I want to change that to either automatically or manually. It's disabled by default because we're still kind of working on it, polishing it, making sure it's working as expected. And then we can click save. And you can see I've already actually got some items here for this update. For example, here, I've got the amount of time spent in here and the number of times it was called and so on. And I can then sort of navigate around my code and I can see where else it's being there. If I go to get nearest targetable, that should show me where it's being used. Oh, if it's not being used inside there, aim turret should have it, although it's not. Maybe because I need to that. If I go back to my Unity profiler here, I could, let's have a look at a different, Unity just reloaded. So let's go into my attack effector update method. You can see we get a little stack trace explorer here where I can kind of click at the different items to then navigate around. So I can get to my update method and I can see now the values that are applied there. If I jump back to say this one, I can see my value is there, 0.93 milliseconds. And in fact, if I just bring this up sort of side by side, I should be able to, where are we? Zoom in a little bit there. And if I sort of select different items along here, it's quite stable, which is a nice example here. But as you're changing along the timeline, we actually bring in update the information and show that available there. It's a really nice way of being able to navigate around your code base and see what's happening on those particular lines, which is very nifty. Then just before I hand over, the other thing I want to do is I want to remind everybody that we have support for consoles as well. So if you're doing game development with consoles, obviously Unity itself works very nicely with the consoles because of the way they build the platform. But if you're doing C++ native custom game engines or Unreal, then you might want to be talking more directly to the consoles. If you just search for Rider for consoles there, so Rider for consoles, you'll find the web page there. You can sign up. You need to use obviously your to show that you're part of the appropriate developer program, so that you can then give you the plugin to download and use Rider with the various different plugin consoles, which is really cool. Please use those. Please let us know how you get on. We'd love to get your feedback on how you find working with consoles, and we want to make sure that Rider is great for console development. On which point, I think, speaking of Unreal, would be a great time to bring Alex in and ask him to talk to us about Unreal and what cool stuff that has been added in this release. So,
hello,
Alex.
folks. Nice to see you. And you're probably wondering what is the Delph guy that was silent through the whole duration of the stream and was cleaning his ears all the way through. So name's Alex. I am a developer at the Rider, mostly focused on the Unreal Engine. So I am not biased at all about any engines, but Unreal Engine is the best. So we can support and support for consoles, as mentioned by Matt. He briefly showed that we support PlayStation and Xbox, and actually I'm one of the guys who's working on the Nintendo Switch support. So if you want to see the Nintendo Switch support in Rider, I do advise you to ping your contact manager at Nintendo and say, hey, I really miss it, so we need to bring it. It will help us a lot. Coming through with the info about the what's new in the Unreal Engine. Just give me a second. I'm trying to find my tab to share about the cool stuff that we have.
Should I share a screen? There's nothing yet. Yeah, just FYI.
No, I am what I was looking for here. Now I am sharing.
Yeah. Sorry, I need to remove Matt first. No. Yep.
Hey, so
maybe zoom in a little.
Give me a second. I'm trying to find which exactly. Is it zoomed in?
Mm-hmm. So again.
I'm trying to figure out which tab I'm actually sharing. So I've zoomed it in.
Faster debugging for massive C++.
No. I see it, but I don't know which instance of the Chrome I'm using right now. So I shared it, I've zoomed it, but it feels like it didn't change at all in the preview panel. Let me reshare it real quickly. Stop sharing.
Yeah, StreamYard also changed the way how we can switch between screens a little, which if you use the new feature is actually good, but if you're not using the new feature, then it's not as nice as before.
Right,
So let's try it. Yeah, no, it zooms. Yeah, looks good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I lost it once again. Yeah, here. So as everybody know who is working on the big Unreal projects, it can be pretty hard and exhausting to wait when you are stepped over in the debugger because it can take a lot. So in this release, our brave debugger team has invested a lot of time in optimizing the specifically step over functionality in Rider. And we have actually a whole blog post with technical details of what exactly was implemented on the LDB side and Rider in order to get the improvement. So let's start with the juicy stuff, and then I'll real quickly show all the memes and fun ones. On average, we got like on the medium, not average, on the median, we got like 50 times optimization for the step over functionality for C++ and Unreal Engine MSCC based projects. And like when you've improved the performance on like 2 times of 1.5, you've made something like neat and cool. But when you optimize it like 10 times something, it means that you finally made something correct instead of making it the broad way. So on the average, like as you can see, there's a huge improvement on the step over functionality all over the place. But you will probably see it when your threshold goes like half a gig or even a gig of binary with more than 8 gigabytes of the debug symbols. So like pretty huge projects. I hope that our friends from the Fortnite team are looking and already expecting to try it out on their project soonish. So as for like real quick neat things, turns out that one of the things that personally made me like giggle a little, but it's specifically really like C++ stuff, that it really matters whether or not you are West Coast or East Coast part of the team, because MSCC and LDB treats them differently. So when you are looking, for example, for the templated meta text const char, LDB won't find it in MSCC-based project because MSCC stores them as text char const pointer. So originally we were just using the broad asterisk search that was painfully slow, and now we finally made it correctly, and we specify the constants correctly for the newsfeed-based projects. And now it's like it's just one of the parts of the optimization, but all the parts combined made a huge difference in order to, like, in improving the step over functionality. So this is mainly the thing that I was going to share today. So go ahead and check the blog post to get in to see all the gritty little technical detail of it.
It's actually a good thing to point it out. I also forgot about it. But yeah, we do some release party stuff and all, but there's a lot more really in detail explained in blog posts, various blog posts, just like what Alex is showing right now, but also for C# support, for instance. Folks, if any of you, like Sasha is doing EAP posts, the syntax tree analyzer, for instance, is also discussed there. So really make sure to also look at blog posts sometimes. Now I think Sasha is on my list next.
Yep, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of the Godot updates in this release. With this release, Rider now fully supports UID files introduced in Godot 4.4. When you move or name files using Rider's refactoring tools, the associated UID files come along for the ride, helping your project stay structured and intact. We're also excited to announce that hot reload is now available for Godot C# projects. You can compile and apply code changes while paused at a breakpoint during debugging. No need to restart your game every time you tweak your C# code. We've cleaned up your workflow by removing that unnecessary warning about missing default constructors on abstract classes. And behind the scenes, we've contributed improvements directly to Godot, like smarter external editor configurations when switching editors. And in the chat, guys, please tell me, how do you pronounce it, Godot or Godot? Because our team is divided, pretty much split in half. So please, weigh in on this pressing question. And with that, I hand over the microphone to myself, as it turns out. Hopefully for this one, I am ready to present in Rider. Can you see the correct screen?
Yes.
Holy moly, I'm so excited. Now, there are a bunch of BCS updates, and I highly recommend that you check out what's new in IntelliJ IDEA page for a nice visual rundown of all the changes. But for brevity of this presentation, I will only focus on the 3 changes that I like personally the most. The first one is that you are now able to see who. Okay, I'm gonna start with the problem that I've been facing. When you puzzle over the diff view and you are wondering who made that change and why, well, now you can see exactly that information in the diff view. As you hover over the change, you will see the author of the change, what the change is, the reason, and when it was made. That really simplifies the investigations. Hopefully, as long as you are not the cause of the issue, hopefully you don't find yourself as the root cause of the problem. Now, the second thing is, I never commit anything without doing pre-commit checks. And you can now set up any tool to be, you can now set up any tool to perform its checks before you hit commit by setting it up as one of the run configurations. And as you can, where did I? Oops, sorry, lost my commit window. There. Now you can set it up to run as a pre-commit check, that tool. As you see here, I chose .cover. Didn't have another handy COT tool. Maybe another one would have been a better example, don't know. But yeah, now I can ensure that my committed code meets the project standards before it's committed, and I can feel good about that. And the final change I wanted to talk about is the automatic fetches in the Git. So the moment you add a Git remote, your branches and commit history are now up to date. No extra clicks, no outdated branch lists. Just hit fetch remote, and that will be automatic synced for you automatically. No manual, no extra clicks needed manually. There's that. That's
We've been
it
actually
for me, but
we've
yes.
been actually talking about this tool as a pre-commit thing. Yeah, I would be really interested if people or what ideas people have. So usually in front end, it's something what you do is usually to invoke prettier or something like that. In .NET, I could also imagine some custom generators if you don't want to use source generators. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure if they're good for every use case. At least from my previous company, we had some custom generators that would have been better invoked, like you just shown. Yeah, people, if you have examples, then let us know. And I think now I need to, Sasha, Alex, do I need to switch to your screen once more, or?
No, I think it's all right.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'm contemplating my life and the status of the browser tab that I have. All right, let's be brave today, and I will actually share this one. I hope I won't be showing any information on my screen. Fingers crossed. So right now I will be talking a little bit about the version control system, and specifically
that one needs lots of zooming.
3000%, please.
Now we're talking.
So can you imagine that at some point we people at JetBrains were considering of ditching perforce support at all because the numbers were so low that we were not considering them like a real VCS system. But thankfully, I wasn't bored of JetBrains company. Thanks to me, all the praise. Actually, we looked at the specifically game development numbers, and turns out, hey, what a surprise! A lot of people from the game development community are using perforce. So, and we got a lot of criticism pretty consistently that the perforce supports lacking some features and bugs, etc. We actually sometimes listen to your feedback, and we've managed to create a lot of fixes specifically for perforce. I believe these ones that I am allowed to show you, thanks for the NDA, so we can quickly jump through to. We heavily improved the sync with the P4V GUI application status and the status of the UI widgets inside of the rider. So now when you are changing something inside of the P4V, it automatically instantly gets updated into the rider, so you don't need to actually sync, etc. So much more smooth operation back and forth. Another thing that now we automatically pick up all the changes, or not all the changes. We automatically pick up the configuration of the version control of your current project. So sometimes before we might miss the P4 config file. Now we correctly pick it up and we will connect it and show the information and the history inside of the project. We greatly improved the performance of the so this one issue is relative to the rider performance, but actually it was hindered by the performance of the perforce integration. So we improved it heavily, and now much less freezes in general. And an option to save your current changed settings or files modified when you are shelving anything in the Perforce itself. Through the UI of the Perforce widget when you're shelving using the Perforce functionality, because actually there's multiple shelf things inside of the Rider. So we have our own shelf thing, and there's like Perforce specific shelf thing, but these are two completely different shelf things. So when you're using the Perforce shelf, we are not automatically erasing the data changed locally. And hey, finally, we are adding an option to set the active change list. So when you're modifying something, it will automatically get into the active change list instead of the always dropping the default one. These are like small features, but I hope it will greatly improve the UX and your experience working with the Perforce inside of the Rider. And that's it from my side.
So we have this always this game development section. This is not the only reason why we stream on Twitch, right? Okay, hold on just 1 second. Who's next? Rachel with a few things about web and cloud.
Yeah, you could just head over to the What's New page again.
Oh. Hold on. Hold on.
And then
okay.
cloud. So yeah, cloud
I need to do a whole lot of things at once here. People don't notice, but it's a lot. Okay.
Matthias is furiously clicking behind the scenes. Yeah, so for cloud development, we have an .NET Aspire and an Azure Toolkit for Rider. They're both plugins, and in both of them, it supports debugging Azure function projects, which is awesome. Also support for remote debugging of Azure App Services, which Azure Functions technically are, in the Azure Toolkit for Rider. And then we also have support for AWS Lambda projects in the Aspire Toolkit plugin. So that's some of our new cloud development that we have. Really nice. As far as web development, there is enhanced Angular support, enhanced TypeScript support, and there's a little laundry list of the Angular support there, like the host bindings, reactive forms, and other things in Angular. So if you're doing front-end dev, we got you there. Same with the TypeScript, smarter quick fixes and better powered engine. On the Blazor front, you can now use the publish menu to publish to browser WASM targets. So that's kind of nice, right out of the publishing menu. Instead of your standard options for publishing, we now have that extra one to publish for WebAssembly, which is kind of the point of Blazor. So a lot of good web stuff on both fronts. Blazor on the back end and TypeScript, Angular, etc. on the front end. And of course, those Aspire and Cloud Dev on the back end. So, got both sides there. And we're good. I think we're off to Sasha now to wrap up.
No. This was it already?
Imagine that. We're on time for once.
We're not exactly on time.
Well, yeah, slightly over time. I would still like to do our wonderful giveaway. And for that, let's find a reason. Let's find a reason to give away our gifts. What would be the reason? We already have one good question from the chat. We could do a Q&A right now, like any other questions that you've got about our release or our plans for Rider, anything like that. Maybe you could tell us your favorite update from this release, favorite change.
Favorite feature is a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
There's no bias here, but a good Unreal Engine question might bring you some points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some of us might pull rank. You know what I'm saying?
Wait
a minute. I like game dev anyway. What am I saying this for?
Did no one actually see the Easter egg that Matt has had in some of his code?
An
I
Easter
saw
egg
it.
for Easter.
Look at that. Look at there. There he is. Look at that little fella. Right there. Can't believe no one noticed.
Features from current release, not on the backlog. Was this one question about frames, or what was it? Debugging in Unity can be a bit hard with the frames, etc. That's usually also that is always the use case that I use to explain dependent breakpoints. So it's a really good example, because you really cannot do this just by clicking step through. You really need to use that feature. Otherwise, you might get around, work around that in some way, but some heavy executed code, yeah. So why did we remove the pencil feature?
Actually,
the pencil feature was,
yeah,
sorry, go Sasha.
Low discoverability, low usage of the feature. We did some investigating, and it was not feasible to continue supporting it, considering how few users actually use it, unfortunately. And right now, I know that we made a bunch of people angry. I see you in the comments, I see you on the blog, and we do see you on our U-Track. We really do. All I can say is, guys, we hear you, first of all, and keep voicing your opinion. And we're going to find a solution that will hopefully evade that disruption to your workflow and give you the functionality you rely on. But I cannot guarantee that we're going to bring that widget back.
Yeah,
I think I've heard some
I
people
also like
before that the pencil feature was too tight with the analysis severities.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were requesting like, hey, can we have pencils only like visual stuff? So for example, I do care about warnings and errors, but I want them to disappear from the editor view. Like, for example, to show them some error, but for the text to be like plain, no squiggles, no something, just give me my good old Notepad++, and I'll be glad.
Yeah, and that's what the little sort of slider can do, or the drop down can do in the current editor widget in the top right of the editor. But the pencils feature could do a little bit more as well. So there was an overlap, and it didn't quite fit, and it was tightly coupled, and it wasn't used by much. And so, yeah, it kind of, sometimes we have to be a little bit ruthless, but perhaps we should be having a look at some of these things again. So, yeah. There's another question there which I see about the AI tooling, and if you've got a Rider subscription, should I have to pay for using the AI tools? If you've got a Rider subscription, you get AI free. So you get the free tier, so you get unlimited cloud completion, and you get some interaction with the cloud chat and other cloud-based features. If you've got all products pack and .ultimate, then you get the AI Pro, which gives you more of a quota there and everything. You can also use the local models, and you can use the local models without the AI Pro subscription as well. You use that as part of the AI free tier too. But we don't have things like bring your own key for that. So talking directly to Gemini or OpenAI and so on. So the subscriptions that you've got at the moment now will give you some access to the cloud features, and the volume of quota that you get there depends on sort of what exact subscription you've already got there.
Two comments on that. So personally, I use quite often ChatGPT still, but with the operating system app. So I have it on Mac, but that also integrates nicely with Rider, of course. Not as good highlighting, etc. So at times I still use AI Assistant. But still, for those quick questions, it's pretty nice. And also, Sasha was asking about what models are people using. I also tinker around at the moment a little bit, and I switched from what was it? First, I used 1 nano model of ChatGPT or GPT, and then switched on to the regular one, and there was a certain difference. Yeah, I felt that. Also in terms of consistency, for instance.
There's a question in the chat. Can I use my own embeddings for JetBrains AI? Any plans to support that?
Interestingly enough, we actually have our own embedding server. So as part of the indexes that we build, we index, obviously, we build file indexes, symbol indexes, but we also build an embeddings index as well. And so you can see this sometimes in some of the search everywhere features where you are searching for the name of a class, but you get it kind of a little bit wrong. And if there's nothing that matches, then we kind of show you, it's like, there are no exact matches. Here are some which are very close. And we kind of show you that with the embeddings information there as well. We also use that as part of the context that goes to the AI chat too. So we can provide a huge amount of context for chats. We can use that, as I say, we can also, the AI can talk back and ask further questions and functions. It can ask for, find text, find symbols, find usages, look at current commits, files that are ready to be committed, and so on. So there's a whole load of information that we can provide, including the embeddings and stuff. I think there was another question about AI there as well, which I was going to look at. Oh yeah, there was a question there about detailing how much quota the volume is. The tricky thing with that is, it's hard to actually sort of pin things down because, which is why we're trying to give the idea of a quota of sort of small, medium, and large. If we give you a figure, it's hard to say what that figure is, because that figure might be tokens, but it might be a different value of tokens depending on the different models that you use or the different features that you use and stuff. So it's actually very hard to sort of give a clear sort of indication of what's going on there. We also want to be able to tweak the values that are being used there as well. So we're sort of monitoring usage and making it so that it's fair, so that we can do appropriate small, medium, and large sizes. There are a little bit more details in the FAQs. But we're not kind of publishing the full numbers behind everything, because they don't really sort of make sense from you as a consumer. It doesn't actually give you enough information or help you. We do let you know what the how far through your quota you are, though, through the AI hub. Different endpoint for the embeddings. Yeah. So talking of the embeddings as well, we're kind of getting into the sort of MCP space as well. The I can't remember what that stands for. I've completely forgotten. The protocol which you can talk to from the models can talk to get more context. Model context protocol. Anyway, and we do support those, and you can register those, and you can use those as well as part of everything as well. And the
context,
sorry?
model context.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Another question there about what is the limit for the attached files for the edit mode? Does it have a line limit or size? Again, it's something that varies depending on quite how we're talking with things. There is a limit there. We've got our token window for the actual chat itself, and we can try to attach things, but we wanted to try and pick the most valuable context out of the file. So rather than just send up a 2 megabyte file and then boom, your whole context window is gone, we want to try and send the most appropriate information. So it's not something which we can give an easy answer to you as a consumer, unfortunately. And I hope that makes sense and is useful. So how are we doing? Do you fancy giving away some swag there, Sasha?
I actually do. I like the questions we've been getting from Arturito. I hope I didn't butcher your nickname. And Arturito, could you reach out to me over this email address so I can connect you with your swag pack?
You can also all write to my email address, because I already sent it before.
Yep. Or you can reach out to Matthias.
Then I have all in my inbox. And I think also Alex should choose someone if you want.
Yeah, please do. I cannot be the only one picking the winners. Let's make it fair. And I promise you, we're not in cahoots over messages. So
I don't see that many questions, actually.
Well then, should we make it random? Chat.
Or just 2?
I mean, sure, why not?
Okay, who's the second one though? One is Arturito and the other one?
I picked one already. Let's
did.
see if they contact me, because I said only if it was an innocent joke. I understood it that way.
Well, you know, that leaves a lot of swag bags left over for our future live streams that you should definitely be joining for more technical malfunctions and valuable updates from Rider and ReSharper. Definitely check out our .NET Tools blog. We can promise you a lot of updates there, but it's a regular stream of very interesting deep dives, technical deep dives into our development and tips for your development. And with that, I think we bid you adieu, and we wish you a very pleasant evening. Right, guys?
Yeah, thank you all for joining.
Thank you so much.
Great
Thanks,
hangout.
everybody.
And thanks, Alex, for joining as well with your clean ears.
Thanks, folks, but it was a lot of fun.
All right,
Thanks,
see you,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.